Married at First Sight UK couple air reason for post-vow fallout in teary scenes. Married at First Sight UK's Matt and Adrienne chose to stay together at the vow renewals, but their relationship struggled after the experiment ended. Married at First Sight UK's Matt and Adrienne's relationship crashed and burned after their heartfelt vow renewals. This week, the stars made the tough decision to either continue the relationship or end it at the vow renewals. Matt and Adrienne were one of the few stars who chose to stay together and see what their future had in store. However, fans were shocked to see Adrienne walk into the dinner party reunion alone. The overwhelmed star broke down in tears as she hugged her co-stars, who thought she was going to walk into the room hand in hand with partner Matt. An emotional Adrienne admitted she was devastated and gutted as she explained to the other guests that she felt as though Matt stopped trying the moment the experiment ended. The teary scenes come after rumors Matt has already moved on with Shona Manderson, after the pair were seen on a series of cozy outings after filming Wrapped. Pouring her heart out at the reunion, Adrienne bawled, "Basically when went to the final vows really strong. The effort and communication broke down once we left. The spark was not there." Adrienne then revealed she became angry when Matt didn't bother texting her until 5 p.m. after a whole day of not talking. When she called him to talk about it, he called her childish. Matt later walked into the party alone and told Adrienne, "I just don't think you were in it with me." And now, in an exclusive clip shared with The Mirror, Matt and Adrienne continue to struggle with communication as they sit on the sofa for the final time before the series ends. Sitting on the couch in front of the experts, she says, "Ultimately, we have different wants and different needs in a relationship." He adds, "We both have different wants and needs, but there must be something else." After a moment of silence, she responds, "There's nothing else. I was going through a lot at home. I've been really struggling and back-to-back meetings at work, there's all that going on." Adrienne doesn't get to finish what she's saying as Matt cuts in to say, "My life is very complicated too." A frustrated Adrienne tells Matt that it's not a competition. He immediately rolls his eyes, which hits a nerve with Adrienne, who turns to look at him with an exasperated look on her face. He goes on to explain, "It's always your feelings, Adrienne. It's always you." "I'm sorry, but it is," as Adrienne sighs and rubs her fingers on her temple in exhaustion. "You're trying to prove a point and I'm not here for that," she says to him. "My life is complicated enough without having to deal with that." Matt and Adrienne were some of the latecomers to the series this year and initially got off to a good start. As the weeks went by, their easygoing relationship began to crack and problems began to form. It got worse when Adrienne admitted she didn't want children while Matt has always wanted a few. Today's next shocking news revealed. Married at First Sight's Shona Manderson is in her divine era. She speaks exclusively to Glamour about swapping love bombing for self-love. Shona Manderson believes that everything happens for a reason, but by now, you probably already know that. The performing arts teacher, who starred in Married at First Sight UK, thought the stars had aligned when she was paired up with Brad Skelly, a model who was also open about his spirituality. "I was just like, whoa," says Shona of their first meeting at the altar. "The tattoos, the tan, he's so tall, he's so handsome, he is a beautiful, very attractive man, and then when he smiled at me with these perfect veneers." She applied for MAFS after going through a breakup and swearing off Hinge. "It's fair to say she threw herself into the process. I just envisioned this most beautiful journey. I romanticized it so much. I got myself an engagement ring. I had a little hen party with my friends at home." And of their instant, palpable chemistry? She thought, "Oh my God, this is so meant to be," but when the universe started sending red flags about Brad's behavior, which she later describes as a love bombing, Shona began to doubt her grip on reality. Throughout the show, which is edited, there were instances of Brad's behavior towards Shona that made viewers seriously uncomfortable. Indeed, the charity Women's Aid released a statement calling out Brad's use of controlling language. Not that I'm in a position of authority or to teach her, but if I allow her to get angry, is she ever going to learn? Towards Shona, noting, TV programs like these, which are based on the formation of relationships, need to be aware of the dynamics of controlling and coercive behavior, and always send a clear message that it is wholly unacceptable. Despite feeling hurt by Brad's words, Shona's natural instinct was to defend him. I was so in denial about it because I was so worried about how he was going to come across, she explains, adding, when we got sent home, I sat there and I said, he's not controlling, he's not. I cried my eyes out because I didn't want him to be seen that way. Brad denies being controlling towards Shona. In a TikTok, he said, "You are all watching a television program and absolutely everything that I am projecting is from a position of trying to help, rather than to control or dictate, due to being in certain televised experiences before. I've never had the need or desire to control anybody in my entire life. And I have never once told anybody that they was never allowed to do anything at all, and anybody that knows me personally knows that they have always been completely open to do as they please." While her short-lived marriage was not on her vision board for the process, Shona is still glad that she met Brad. "If I'd been with someone with Thomas Criaras or Paul Liba, we would have probably just had a good time and had more friend vibes. And then, maybe further down the line, I might have met someone like Bradley and ended up staying in that position for a bit longer. Instead, being partnered with Brad propelled her on the best journey of her life. I feel so empowered," she tells Glamour. "And I am truly grateful for him because he didn't break me. He didn't. He taught me some lessons. He really hurt me, but he didn't break me." After she left the show, Shona flew to Sri Lanka to complete her yoga teacher training. During their time apart, Shona reports that Brad called her and said, "The way I feel about you, Shona, is so mad, but I don't love you, I just lust you. I think I said it too soon. But I really want to make this work, and I don't want to break up." That woke me up. I was holding on so much and blindsided because all his shitty behavior was always followed by "I love you." Everything. Like buying me cards, writing me letters, and buying me flowers. It was always shit stuff followed by this big gesture of love. When she boarded the plane to Sri Lanka, she says that Brad sent her a message which read, "I'm sorry, I just never had any emotional attachment to you whatsoever. How can you go through something so big with someone and know that you never ever had any feelings for them at all?" she asks. After her MAFS journey came to an abrupt end, Shona worried about her reputation. "I was like, shit, I'm a teacher. And I've just gone on telly so optimistic, fallen in love really fast, and then been sent home from a TV show for this guy's behavior and I haven't handled it well. I beat myself up so hard because I thought I wasn't being a good role model for the teenagers I teach. And I cried and cried." But on reflection, she's glad the relationship fell apart the way it did. Bradley and I's relationship showed the classic steps of love bombing and how quickly something can just go so wrong. And I feel like our story hasn't really been shown like that on telly before. She continues, "As painful as it was at the time for me, I'm in such a good position now that I just want it to be just educational for people. And for people to be sitting there and thinking, oh my God, I am in a relationship like that, and it's not healthy, and it's not okay. And then to perhaps look into me and see where I'm at and that you can walk away." As for Brad, She bumped into him at the MAFS reunion, where she says he tried to make amends, of sorts. And I was like, ugh. I don't believe you at all. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you're saying to me because it doesn't affect me anymore. I'm so far removed. I'm in my divine again. I feel empowered. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.